Welcome everyone to the October meeting of the Acquisitions SIG. Glad to have you here. Hopefully you were all able to participate in last month's koha-US conference, either virtually or in person, and get to see all kinds of things and some of the presentations on acquisitions. So special thank you to Barbara and Holly and Daphne and Christy and
Marcy.
Marcy. There we go. Thank you. Marcy for the presentation they did on acquisition. So hopefully that got a few people curious about acquisitions. Just before we get started here, I'd like to have everybody kind of introduce themselves and share what library you're from, how long you've been on Koha, and how you're using the acquisitions, just so that everybody can kind of connect. It's like, oh, they're using it like we are, or whatever. So and this is recorded, so you'll be able to see it later. So I'll start. My name is Rhonda Kuiper. I work at the Round Rock Public Library. I'm the technical services and collection development manager here. We've been on Koha since 2016. So was that eight years, something like that. And we use acquisitions. We do EDI ordering with 3 of our main vendors that have EDI ordering, and things like Amazon and Bound to Stay Bound, we do non-EDI ordering. We use the purchase suggestion module, and yeah, that's about all the information for me. I'll just call out people's names in the order that they are on my screen, and then we can avoid kind of awkward pauses waiting for somebody else to jump in. Barbara, you're first.
I'm Barbara Johnson. I am Technical Services Manager at Bedford Public Library in Texas. And we've been on Koha since October of 2016. We use acquisitions. We are non-EDI, so we don't have any of the EDI set up, but we use it for our main vendors, Amazon, like Rhonda was saying, and anything else. And we use purchase suggestions as well.
Thanks. Jason, you're next.
I'm Jason Robb. I'm the Seek and Find coordinator at the Southeast Kansas Library System. We have a consortium of 49 libraries, and we've been on Koha since 2008. We only really use the purchase suggestion modules in acquisitions. We haven't ever delved into the other parts of it. It was never really consortium friendly at the start, and so we've always just kind of done our own thing since then. But I know it's gotten better over time.
Hi, I'm Chanel from the Yavapai Library Network in Arizona. We're a consortium of 59 libraries. I'm the systems librarian. We're not actually on Koha yet. We'll be going live in June, so I'm preparing as much as I can for that. In our current ILS, we use acquisitions with EDI, and we use purchase suggestions through Aspen.
Alexander.
Hi, I'm Alex Carver. I'm the software administrator at the Ramapo Catskill Library System. We're a consortium of 47 libraries. Like Chanel, we are also not on Koha yet. Our go live date is August 5th, 2024. But in our current ILS, our member libraries find the acquisitions module extremely clunky, and so most of them don't use it. And the acquisitions features in Koha is something they're all looking forward to. So I'm still exploring, listening, and learning.
All right, well, welcome.
Thank you.
I guess it's KKRUEGER.
Hi, I'm Christy Kruger. I'm the ILS librarian at Cuyahoga County Public Library. We are a 27 branch system in Northeast Ohio around the Cleveland area. We just went live on Koha at the end of August. We are using the acquisitions module pretty heavily, and I'm coming today. I'm not an acquisitions person, so I am coming with a few specific questions that I'm hoping I might be able to get some advice on.
Super. Christy, was that?
Yep,
You're-
Christy.
Christy, okay. George, you're next.
I'm George Williams. I'm the NEKLS Search Catalog Coordinator at Northeast Kansas Library System. And similarly to Jason, we've been using Koha for a long time. We have a consortium of, currently, I think we have 50 libraries. And we had one library for a time that used acquisitions. They didn't like it, so they turned it off. And we use the purchase suggestion features. But every now and then I have libraries that say, hey, we might like to use suggestion or the acquisitions module in the future. So I try to come to these meetings to keep up to date on what's going on in there and to maybe have even a slight clue as to maybe partially what I can do with it when somebody actually says turn it on for us. So
Thanks, George. Holly.
I'm occasionally having a hard time hearing you again, Rhonda. Sometimes you're loud and sometimes you're not.
I'm gonna have to get IT to come and look at this computer. And sitting in my recliner, for those of you that.
It seems like every time you're reclined, that's when we can't hear you. Every time you're relaxed and peaceful and comfortable, that's when we can't hear you.
Okay, I will be on edge and tense and on the edge of my seat, and then you can hear me, I guess.
Loud and clear.
Okay, all right. Holly, you're next.
Hi, I'm Holly McDougall. I work with Rhonda at the Round Rock Public Library. I feel like you pretty much covered everything. I'm the one who is the wheels on the ground for all that stuff, the ordering, the EDI, the receiving, all that jazz. But yeah, just one of Rhonda's minions.
Yes, she's one that did my dishes the other day, so thank you, Holly. And Aida.
Hello, everyone. I'm joining you from across the world. My name is Aida Djikic. I live in Sarajevo in Bosnia and Herzegovina. And we have looked into many different systems that we might use for our library. I work at the Sarajevo School of Science and Technology, and I'm the sole librarian there. For the past, let's say 9 months, I've been trying to learn how to install and manage and use Koha. And recently I received news that we might officially start using it. So I'm here to learn as much as I can about acquisitions and about all the other modules in Koha.
Welcome. Thanks. And then Daphne.
I'm also in Europe. Not sure if you can hear me. It's saying I'm mute. Oh, right. I work for Interleaf Technology, and we support Koha in libraries in Ireland and some parts of the UK and various places in Europe for some strange reason. Austria is one of our places. I don't know how that's linked to Ireland. But we have several customers that use acquisitions, and I come to this group because generally they know more about the newer releases, and I'm trying to get tips and tricks and also just to see how you implement it as well, so that when our clients are looking for ways to use it, I can help.
Welcome, Daphne. Okay, so usually at these meetings, we've got a number of new people here today. At these meetings, we will talk about anything that you bring, you know, questions that you have. And then if we run out of that, then we will just kind of just explore, you know. So I know we've got a number of people that aren't on it yet or just new to the acquisition, KOHA and acquisitions. So let's see, who was it? It was Christy had some specific questions. We can start with that, and that will probably get some discussion going, and we can go from there. And okay, so take it away, Christy.
Sure. So I've been sort of sitting with the team that receives our orders in KOHA. And one of the things that we kind of have a question of, and I haven't found a great way to do it, reading the documentation, I might have missed it, is what happens when the box comes in and you ordered 14 copies and there are, say, maybe 16 copies there. Or, and you're just like, all right, well, we'll just keep those extra 2 copies and let them bill us for it. Like, is there any way to modify the invoice, the quantity number on the invoice, or do you have to make a new invoice just for those 2 copies?
We always have it the other way around, where not enough of them show up.
Well, I'd take advice on both ways. I know both ways happen around here.
I don't know, has anybody experienced that? Excuse me. And have a specific workaround? Otherwise,
maybe another question to ask is, am I missing something in the documentation? Is there an advice on how to, you know, I kind of haven't really gotten the idea that there is a great way to modify the quantity on an invoice after it's already entered.
I'm trying to bring up the demonstration instance of KOHA here, so that we have, that koha-US has. I probably should.
And Christy, is that through EDI receiving?
Unfortunately, no, we're not on EDI yet.
Okay. Because I know you can change prices on your invoice, and I'd have to ask my assistant who actually does the receiving about quantity.
Okay.
All right, I'm going to share my screen with the KOHA, and then we can it's like, okay, so here we've got the koha-US demo server, and we can go into acquisitions, and then Carver, you might know better than, do you have like Baker and Taylor or something like that?
I just do a blank search. Oh, sorry.
There we go. So we've got, we've got a couple here. So if we wanted to receive shipments, and then all right. So what you're saying is when you go in and pick this one to receive, since it's at the top.
Yeah.
All right. So what happens? You've got quantity ordered. And what happens if we put 4 more items than expected? Items will not be created.
I think that's fine for our purposes. We usually just do like a placeholder item on the order record because we get like a lot of copies in for popular titles. Let's see. So if it's the actual cost, $298. We have 4.
So it looks like by changing the quantity, it's not making the calculation
Okay.
automatically. So can you just go in and manually change what 4 times your 1498 would be?
Yeah, that's a workaround.
Where
If
would
we
you
hit
put
save,
that?
well, oh, sorry.
Where would you put that then? The actual cost?
I think, Rhonda, just try and save that record now and see what happens. I'm curious. Would it recalculate?
So, all right. So we've got the replacement quantity, the actual cost. Still,
But it did update the quantity. That's a start.
yeah, I did update the quantity.
It just didn't do the total.
Yep.
Which we could probably do a workaround for that.
There is a way to, let me do this finish receiving. And
That
then
adjustment.
adjustment and, you know, put in whatever. Oh, and then, so you can do a drop down of different reasons for your adjustment in authorized values. And,
Okay.
you know, one of them could be received more items than ordered or something like that, and then add it in there. There's also a space for notes in here. Yeah, and then you can pick the fund that it would get charged to, you know, if you wanted to keep it to that same account or whatever. And then I guess you could update the adjustment. So it's not pretty.
Yeah.
But
it's,
you could make it work.
and for the other way around, when you don't get all the copies you ordered, is it also just an adjustment?
Yeah, so go ahead.
I was going to say, Rhonda, why don't you go ahead on that adjustment and actually follow through on that?
Okay.
So we can see, I mean, I'm pretty sure I know what we're going to see, but
Let's just do it. So I'm assuming that's what it would be, and we'll put receive I before E except after C, received 2 additional copies. Okay, and then update. Okay, and then we've got the adjusted total down here.
Okay.
I think, yeah, that looks like, yeah, it looks about right. And, oh, but now our quantity still shows 0. I mean, 2.
2.
Weird.
So that's a little misleading. You get your cost, but yeah, your quantity is kind of like,
You have to look at the adjustment.
Okay.
But again, retrospectively, when you're looking back, does the quantity matter? Because you're going to have to go and create items for them. So you'll know you have 4.
Invoice, you'll see all of this in here, right? This has all been saved, right?
Think so.
All right, so let's just go back to our, oh, I do that every time. So let's go here and Oh, these are the, I need invoices. What did I say it was? Testing? All right, so here it is. Oh, now see, this shows received 4 items.
Huh. Okay.
Oh, do you know, Rhonda, if you look at the end, it just isn't totaling them. Because you've got a total of 2 on the proper invoice and you've got total on the adjustments.
Okay,
But it is a workaround, so it's not going to look perfect, I think.
it's, I mean, it will give you the correct number to go against your fund, and you'll be able to see that you received 4. It just, you need to do a little bit of extra work or whatever.
Okay.
All right, so in the other case, let's go back here. Probably don't have to go back that far, but all right, so received shipments. We'll call that one not enough. And okay, so all right, we've got a couple of them here that are quantities. We're expecting 2, so let's go in and receive 1. So what happens in this case is if you say you received 1, then just 1 of the items will get checked, and all of this stays the same. So then we would save that. And down we go. So now we see that we've got 1 quantity here, but we still will have Sins of the Father by Judith Jantz, and quantity expected, or is changed to 1. So it says 1 item left, 1 item order, or 1 ordered left. So you can see that you were expecting 2, but only 1 of them has come in yet, and it will leave it. It will leave the one that hasn't come in your list of things that need to be received yet, and the pending orders. And then you can just merely, save this. And then when the next invoice, when it comes in again, you can, the second one comes in again. Usually that's what happens with us. Like they'll, we order 10 copies of something, and we'll get 6 of them in 1 invoice. And then 2 weeks later, we'll get the other 4 or something like that. So that's how you can do if you've received less than the number of orders. So then we finish receiving, and you see that you're just being charged for the 1 on this particular invoice. And that's,
so then, oh, sorry. So say that that other copy never comes in, or it got mangled in delivery and you're not going to use it. What's the best way to clear that up?
okay. So, okay. So you can't, okay. So you have the option here to cancel.
Okay.
So you can't actually delete the record, cancel the order and delete the record, because there's stuff attached to this particular bib record.
Right.
But you can cancel this order. And then it will go away.
And that's just for the 1 remaining copy on the order, or the whole order?
No, just that one remaining copy on this order. I
Okay.
guess it won't hurt anything if I actually do it. Except our system is super slow right now.
And it'll also give you back your 1444 into your available pot of money.
Are we sure the bib record will not be deleted? That's yay. And then you know, you could, and again, this is a drop down that you can create reasons for in the authorized values. So, you know, you can say, oh, it was out of stock, or, you know, damaged on arrival, or whatever you want. So we'll just say, you know, out of stock, and then cancel, and it's been canceled. So, so if we would go look at this item in the catalog, we would see that we just have one holding. And if we go to the acquisitions detail, we will see that we have this invoice here, and it says the status is completed, but we have this one with no invoice and no receive date, and it says canceled here. So you can track that pretty straightforward.
Okay.
And like I think said, your money will get returned to your fund.
Okay. I think we've been a little hesitant on hitting that cancel button because we're afraid it'll wipe out like everything that we did receive. So that's good to see.
Yeah. That's and I, you know, this koha-US thing is a demonstration site that we use for, you know, demonstrating stuff. But Bywater has a test site on theirs that you can go in and play with stuff, and it refreshes every, was it 3 hours? And you know, you can just go in and do stuff that you're afraid to do on your own system and see what happens. And then you know, just see what happens, and then you can go from there.
Okay.
But yeah, if you know, if you don't receive all the ones that you ordered, Koha is pretty good at handling that. You know, it's pretty clear and clean. The other end where you receive more copies than you got, you can still do it. You know, the adjustments to the invoice will allow you to, you know, reflect the increased cost and all that kind of stuff. It's just not as pretty and clean as this one is. And ooh, does anybody remember what the title of that other one that we received more? I can't go back and those are Baker and Taylor. Oh, I do this every time. Invoices. I think it was what, testing? And what was it? Oh,
Depth and focus.
Nothing focus. So then we come here and it just shows the two holdings because it gave us that message that said you're receiving more than expected, no items will be created. So that is valid. And here, it only shows that you received two.
Okay.
But you know, at this point you could come in here and create two more items for this.
Yeah,
oh, that's a bummer. I was hoping that would show up, like the invoice showed up for.
Yeah, it looks like Jason just put a bug in the chat about inconsistent quantity display in different places. So there's something out there.
Okay.
Huh.
Okay. Yeah, and George put the link to the Bywater solution demo site.
Thanks.
Chat as well. Okay. Christy, does that answer that kind of question?
Yeah, I think it gives me a good amount of context to go from.
Good. Anything else?
Oh, I have more, but I thought since I just took a big bite, I'd see if anyone else had anything.
Okay, did watching this, bring up any questions for anybody? And again, this was recorded, so you can go back and look at it later. Go back to the acquisitions. So that kind of, you're able to see how receiving takes place for non-EDI. In the next release, 2305, you'll be able to receive multiple items at once. Right now, you have to go in and receive, and do all the stuff, and then, click, and then you go back and you search for the next one, and it's kind of a long and tedious process. In 2305, you'll be able to look at the items received. Let's go here. Receive shipments. So there's going to be check boxes, and if you see Bywater's Monday Minutes, they actually did Monday Minutes this week on this, but there'll be check boxes right in the front here, and you can say, you can have your invoice in your one hand, and you'll be like, okay, we need to, the Land of the Wolves and came in, and The Woman Who Spoke to Spirits, and Pride and Prejudice, and Poison. All of those will, you can just click the little check box, and then when you get to the bottom, there'll be there's an additional button that says receive selected or something like that. And then that will save a lot of time for those when you get a full an invoice of, sometimes it can be, depending on your library, you can have 50 or 100 or more items on a particular invoice, and that will save a lot of time. So, okay. I'm going to let you go again, Christy. Not hearing anything else.
Okay. An embarrassment of riches. We also had questions about applying a credit. Like if you get a credit from a vendor, what's the best way to go about doing that in the acquisitions module?
There's probably a bunch of different ways to do that. Pick on somebody
Oh, Rhonda, I'm having trouble hearing you.
Okay,
Sorry.
I will.
Now I can hear you.
Okay, I will lean forward and I will talk loudly. I think my microphone is kind of glitchy, so I gotta lean forward, lean in. Barbara, how do you handle credits?
My assistant does them.
Perfect answer. Holly, how do you handle credits?
I'd have to think about it for a moment.
I receive them manually as a negative amount. So it's hard to explain, but just like, manually receiving an invoice.
Oh yeah,
that vendor, and then just assigning it to the right fund. It's kind of vague. You can put in the invoice number, the credit memo, whatever. I'm mostly thinking of Ingram since that's our primary, and the one we're most likely to have a credit from. But yeah, you can do it like that. It's yeah, that's in Koha, that's the primary. Just receiving it as a negative amount.
So you go and oh, sorry.
Yeah, there you go. Rhonda's got it.
So I will say CR test. How's that for?
Do you
credit?
usually have like an invoice number or any kind of tracking number that you use, or is it just you put credit or something there in that vendor invoice field?
Holly?
So No, sorry, I lost my screen, so I'm so not, I just put the credit memo number. We really don't
Okay.
have a ton of them. But yeah, just put the credit memo, and this, the negative amount will indicate for us that it's a credit.
Okay,
And
thank you.
And then like in the shipping costs, you put a negative number? Or you just, how do you do that?
So would you hit next then?
Holly, can you walk us through how you do
I'm
it?
so sorry, I lost the screen. So it like minimized as something and I'm not seeing the same stuff that you're seeing.
Oh,
I'm very
okay.
bad at this. But so I'm
All
trying to.
right, so I put in the invoice number, I put credit memo number, you know, number, I'll say
Okay.
1. And then,
Yeah, so I see. Okay, I'm seeing what you're seeing now.
okay. And then do you
So-
put it like in the shipping cost, do you put a negative number or you just hit next here?
I'm sorry, the shipping cost is where I'm gonna put the negative number because there's no other place that's gonna let you put in a number.
Okay,
Yeah,
so we'll say $10. And then you pick the fund.
yeah, whoever it's going back to, like, you know, if it was a kid's book or, you know, whatever, it'll go back to whoever.
And then say next. And then
And then you're gonna have
just,
to, yeah, you're gonna have to go all the way to the bottom and then finish.
finish receiving. So, okay, so you've got shipping costs of -10.
Yeah. And then you can close it and save.
Okay.
Close and save. And then if we went back to, I always do that. Invoices. We'll call it CR. Something like that. So we've got a closed invoice here. We can see that we didn't receive anything on it, but if we go in and look, we've got a negative number. And if we go to here, oh Lordy, I think it was this one that I,
Yeah, you'll see it spent as a negative over there.
Okay.
And I'm thinking that we may use the adjustments perhaps for that.
oh, okay.
I'm not
So-
sure, but I'm thinking she may go in and find the invoice and then do an adjustment on it, but I could be wrong, but that may be a way to do it.
Okay.
So the invoice that it was expected on, or that it came in on,
Yeah,
like got it and it was damaged, or they said it was on that invoice, but it really wasn't,
right.
all that kind of stuff. Okay. Okay. So looking at those screens, did that spark questions for anyone? Okay. I will turn it back to you, Christy. Any more questions?
I don't really have like a specific case, but I just didn't know if anyone had any thoughts or experiences to share about modifying carts at all. Words of wisdom.
So, you build, okay. Let's go back to our Baker and Taylor. So we've got all of these baskets here and,
Yep, sorry, baskets, right terminology.
yeah, koha language, whatever. So I just clicked on the nonfiction one, and So this one is closed. This particular basket is closed.
Mhm.
So the first thing that you do is reopen this basket.
Got it.
And then you've got some options over here, including you can cancel the order, you can cancel and delete the catalog record, you can modify, or you can transfer. So I'll start with transfer because that'll be quicker. If you click on transfer, you can actually, like, let's say Boss Up, for whatever reason, Baker and Taylor can't send it to you, but you know you can get it from Amazon or Ingram or something else. So you can transfer this to a different vendor. So, you know, it's getting transferred from Baker and Taylor, that vendor, and then I don't know what other vendors are out there. So, I guess we got two of them. So I'm going to choose the first one. So we've got two baskets here, and I could say I want to pick this one, and it will transfer that order there, and it's gone from here. So if that's the scenario that you need to modify, you can do that. You probably want to have a basket created already because there really isn't a place to, you know, new basket or something like that.
Yeah,
The other one, go ahead.
Nope, nothing.
All right. The other one is modify. So then you can go in here, and this is, I would suggest doing this pre-ordering. But you can modify the quantity, you can modify the fund, you can modify the price, you can, you know, the retail price or the replacement costs, all that kind of stuff. You can put in notes, all that, pretty much anything at that point, you can modify, including notify a patron on receiving if you wanted to. And then you can just save it. Let's say that we decided, all right, that's pretty obviously a nonfiction. Let's say we wanted to change the quantity. We decided it's going to be a hot title. Oh, okay. All right. So I guess you can't change the quantity. You just got to add another line for that. You can change the price. Pretty sure you can change. Yeah, you can change the fund that it's going to. But, and then I'm going to cancel that because that'll really mess up people. Are there other scenarios where you want to change the basket that aren't covered with that?
I have a feeling the quantity question was probably the big one, and that just answered it. So I right now I can't think of anything specific.
I think in general, if you are ordering, if you're going to receive or change the quantity of items that you're receiving, KOA just prefers you to go in and put in a short a new order so that the line can go in and then it's tracking the items to it. And some of it is related to EDI because EDI is creating the items at the ordering stage, so it can then pass the information with the vendor. And I think just if you have your system set up for EDI, it gets very confused then if you start just changing quantities.
Okay. That's good advice.
So, you know, if you needed extra copies, maybe just do a quick supplementary order or something to add it in. Oh, Jason's found something. I was going to say, we're going to change it.
Related bug. All right. Oh, sorry. I apologize for our system. It's been terrible the last couple days. All right. When adding items while ordering, the quantity field should not look like it can be edited. Oh, okay. Yeah, because it does look like it can be edited and it really shouldn't.
Yeah.
So that's new. Where's the date?
Someone was thinking
really.
about it last week.
Yeah.
Who
Yep.
was it? I'm curious.
No users have.
Let's see.
There's another one that's talking about quantity a
Oh.
little bit.
Ability to modify an order line to increase quantity of ordered item. Oh, that sounds kind of on the nose. Baskets that create an item when placing an order do not allow you to modify the order and increase the quantity. The only time the quantity can be increased is upon receiving. We'd like to be able to modify orders in an open basket and increase the quantity. This does not apply to baskets that create an item when receiving an order or cataloging, as you can modify those orders and increase the quantity. So that's very closely related to what we were talking about. So that is signed off.
Yeah.
Okay. So just a real quick tutorial, if you will, on Bugzilla. Bugzilla is a great place. You know, Jason and I think George has thrown a few in there too, but for sure Jason has searched in Bugzilla and found related bugs, and the status shows you where in the process that it is. So the very first status is new. I don't know if I click on, yeah. So this is not what I was looking for. But basically the sequence is new, and then it will get assigned to somebody. So this one has an assignee, Alicia, and then they will work on it and create a patch to do the whatever function or correct the error or whatever. And then it goes to, and everybody can correct me if I'm wrong, if I skip a step, but from that to needs sign off. And then that's an opportunity for you and I to spin up an instant. Bywater has some sandboxes and things where you can if it's a straightforward bug, you can add the patch to an instance of Koha and actually do the test plan. Every bug has to have a test plan. So here's the test plan in here. Whoever is signing off can go through the test plan and make sure that it works, and anything, if you're kind of familiar with this area and how it works, you might want to check a few other things, make sure there's not some unintended consequences of adding this code to the system. Then you can actually sign off on it. So that would change it, to signed off to that status. And then past QA, I think, is the next one. And then
Pushed.
I don't know what pushed. There you go. It was something about it gets pushed into the actual system. And that means that it's in the code, and the next release that comes out will actually have that code. Sometimes if it's a fix to something that got broken in the new release that was working before, they will push it back, and there will be a note, way down at the after they say, that it's been pushed to master, and then they will, if you would like to get it sent back to the current release or the previous release, you can, put the question in there. Hey, is this a candidate for getting pushed, sent back a release or whatever? I don't know how you say it, but and then they will look at it. Some things are not, if it's a new function, it will not go back. But if it's a fix to something that was broken, they will push it back. And then when you get your point something release, 22.11.8 or something like that, when you get that release on, then you'll have that code on your system, and they'll let you know which release that it's going to. So that's one way, so this one, it's got a fix, and somebody's tested it and said it's working the way it should. So you can kind of tell, there's other statuses like in discussion, which if you've got input on how that particular feature should work, then definitely comment, because the developers are looking for input from librarians on how something should be implemented. If it's something you're interested in and you have opinions on, definitely put your 2 cents in there. But this is part of the way that you can be involved in the development of Koha, and part of, what makes being open source cool. You can go in here and comment on things. I've commented on, hey, there's some bug that, George says developers don't want to add features users don't want. They will listen to users if users have something to say. That is very true. They want to put the stuff, they want to create features and things that the libraries will be excited about. They and they want to do it in a way that makes sense to us. So definitely you can create a login for this, and I think it has to be approved or something like that. It's not just anybody can get in, but you can get a login for this, and then you can comment on things, and you can create bugs if you want. First search to make sure there isn't something out there already, and then you can sign off on things, and just have a voice in the development of Koha. We are getting real close to the end of our hour. Okay, Alex, I guess. Thanks for joining us. And then does anybody else have any quick comments or anything that you want to share? I'm going to stop sharing my screen. So otherwise, okay. You're welcome, Christy. Thanks for coming with all the great questions, because we can all learn from that. And then if you have a topic that you're really curious about, let me know and just email me. And then I will either figure out, how to demonstrate it or whatever, or sometimes we will get educators from Bywater to guest speak at the meetings, just to help us understand things better. So if nobody has anything else, we will wrap it up. Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.